Greetings, world and Femi, and welcome to today's episode of Rocking Pandora's Box, episode 13. I am Richard.
And I am Gary. And
And today,
today we have a special guest, which is Meten.
Meten, welcome. Welcome. And all three of us today, we are going to be rocking
Pandora'S
box. Woo! We love you back, Femi. We kind of screwed that one up already.
No, you were perfect, Richard.
It's Meten's energy.
No, it's not. You're just useless.
I didn't do anything this time.
Meten said nothing, and then we screwed it all up.
I was like, what?
How are you, brothers?
We're good, thank you. I'm very good. Yeah, how about you, Meten? How are you?
I'm doing well. It's a little hot here, and allergies and pollen are really high, but I'll do my best not to sneeze up the place during the show.
That would be appreciated all over the screen. I baptize you. Woo!
I think we can tell which way this show's going to go already, can't we?
It's going to be fun. Would you like to talk about it, Gary? Like what direction we're going today on our 13th show?
13, I know. Lucky for some. Baker's Dozen. It's our Baker's Dozen show. That's what it is.
I don't even know what that means.
In the UK, because 13's unlucky, the baker would always bake 13 rolls, but you'd call it a Baker's Dozen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that impressive? Because I know, like in some old monuments or buildings or apartments or hotels, like they didn't register the 13th level but like there's a reason why, Femi, huh? Like it's actually lucky number 13. Freaks, huh? Making us believe like, oh, Black Cat 13, Friday the 13th, don't walk under like a ladder, like it's all stupid.
Ladder part.
It would be bad luck, apparently.
Do you not? I never walk under a ladder.
Oh, I always do.
I don't either.
I do. Oh yeah. I love breaking rules. I never got hit.
What, by the paint coming down? You never got hit by it?
No. No. I see a ladder, I see paint, I'm going to go dance under it.
That's awesome.
If I was painting, I'd drip it on you on purpose.
There we go.
No, yeah. Well, we've already kind of started on the strange one, so shall we carry on about superstitions?
Yes.
Yeah, because obviously I'm in the UK, you're in Canada, and Meten, you're in America. So although we have similarities, there obviously are differences, like you not knowing the Baker's Dozen, which is obviously an English-ism. So obviously we have a black cat can be unlucky or associated with witches. Do you guys have the same?
Do you want to go first, Meten, or should I go?
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean, we have the whole thing about if a black cat crosses. I mean, I think that's almost like in every culture now because of film, Hollywood. But yeah, if a black cat passes, and then this is more of a British or Britanism is of course the Poe story. Poe had a story about the black cat as well, where the cat was, I think it was inured into the wall. It was buried into the wall in the story.
I can tell you stuff about that.
All right.
Would you like to hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the olden days, witches in the UK were a real thing. And in Great Yarmouth, there's actually an alley called Kitty Witches Alley. And it's called Kitty Witches because a woman, a cat was attacked by a dog. And when the people ran into the alleyway, a woman sat there with the same injuries as the cat had got. And her name was Kitty, or the Kitty and the Witch. So it was a Kitty Witch. So she'd shapeshifted. So back in the day in England, there was a lot of superstitions going on, and they were very fearful of witches. And so what they would do is they would mummify a cat, and that cat would be built into the back of the chimney breast of the old
What?
houses, and they would brick up a cat behind the chimney when they built the house. And my dad, who's an electrician, had worked on
Oh,
many old houses, and they've actually found cats when they've pulled the chimneys down. There's actually been dead cats inside in a little recess at the back of the chimney.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
I need to wrap my head around this. So this would have been seen like a good luck omen for them doing this. Like
it prevents the witches coming in. It's
that's
almost as if
insane.
Santa Claus comes down the chimney, but if you've got
Yeah.
a cat there, it stops Santa Claus coming down or the witch coming down. And obviously, because witches were seen as being black cats and could and shapeshift,
Hmm.
then obviously to have a cat in your house would then stop the witches.
I find it just disgusting personally because the thing is, like, see that whole word witches. Many were sacred divine that were working with herbs and with Gaia. And the thing, truth be told, is like the black cat is probably the luckiest of the frequency, the hues of the cats, much like black obsidian, black tourmaline. Okay, it repels evil. So this is what they had done, right? They had like attacked what was lucky 13, the black cat, and like I don't even want to because I'm seeing images
Yeah.
that
But
they
this
did
was in the
find a
16th.
dead black cat to
Yeah,
put there. Like, yeah,
but this is the 16th and 17th century. It's
yeah.
a
Well,
long, long time ago. And
so the
obviously,
witch trials.
bingo.
Okay,
So we had the witch trials going on, and we had the persecution or the continuation of the persecution of the female divine feminine all the way through.
disgusting. But we're coming out of that, and the veil is thin right now.
Yeah.
There's a big awakening. And black cats, do you know? Like, I don't know about you guys where you're at, but here au Canada, like black cats, we have this thing called SPCA. So it's like you adopt like an abandoned or a found animal, and the black cats they get put to sleep on a regular basis because people are so afraid of the bad luck um, mantra or like stigmata that was attached to them, which is all bull.
Yeah.
I got 3 black cats. Before these 3 black cats, I had 2 other black cats. Black cats are the protectors. They repel everything. And this is why the legend goes that a witch has a black cat because she's protecting herself against evil energy, parasitical energy, vampirism.
Everything's an inversion, though, isn't it, these days? Everything.
Yeah, and it's coming to light. Yeah. We're bringing that spotlight, calling out to all the sailors at sea, come on home. Black cats, we kiss them on the lips. We don't put them in a chimney.
No,
Nope.
we don't. I'm not saying it's black
say
cat.
the same about,
Go on.
would you guys say the same about ravens and crows being black feathered?
They are very, very, they're wise. They're extremely wise. But yes, a lot of people, that black energy, like they've done so much control on it. But black ravens, black crows are great prophetic messengers. They are very protective. You are very lucky if you encounter a black crow in reality, but that's not how they made it, right? So yeah, you're right, Meten. Black cats or black crows, black everything, black metal.
Don't we have in the UK the Queen in the Tower of London that they actually have black ravens, and they said that if the black ravens leave the Tower of London, the monarchy will fall.
Wow.
I don't know that, but
Yeah.
yay. So that means the black raven arrives to like a dragon almost. Let it fall, let it crumble, let it go burning into ashes.
If the ravens go and disappear, the royal family and the tower collapses.
Oh,
So
if
if they go, so they have to have the ravens there, and they actually employ people to look after the ravens at the Tower of London.
Okay, that's a whole different. That's not what I understood.
No,
okay.
no.
That's even more potent.
It's the inversion of, isn't it? From
There's also a deeper story That was in Tracy Twyman's book about the ravens that are kept in the tower. But I'm not going to go into that. We don't need that kind
No.
of.
Yeah, it's dark. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But it's very interesting how at certain times those in control have used animals for the benefit or non-benefit of the people, and it's always the innocent animal that generally ends up getting the end of the stick, isn't it, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
half of the deal, yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
Yeah. Almost like siphoning or sucking the energy of that totem animal, whatever was magical about it, like vampirism, like almost like chaining it up, like having like a sigil around it. I'm going to use your beautiful power for
Mm.
my own glory.
You
yeah.
know, it's illegal in the United States to have a raven or crow as a pet, and it's not difficult to actually have them as pets. When I was living in South America, I had a little kind of parakeet, a little bird, which is easier to have in Latin America because there's so many. Here in the States, you can, but there's certain laws, but I might get another parakeet because, they're nice and they're pretty cool. But yeah, it's illegal I don't know if it's the same with you guys. It's probably the same.
No,
No.
here many people have crows. I mean, like my backyard, I mean, like if there would be like I'd be like busted. I mean, like I got rabbits, I got groundhogs, I got chipmunks, Gary, gar gar. I got squirrel, I got everything here, and I feed them daily. They come to my hands, they're my family. I mean, we have a lot of crows here. Crows are very intelligent. Huh? Did you know that if ever you do something like bad towards a crow, they remember you for life, like an elephant's a memory. And some people have actually worn masks to hide their face when they went to do things with crows because that's how intelligent they are. They know how to remember codes. They know how to unlock games, that you have to twist things around or locks. They are brilliant. And I think that they are really like more than the dove would be because we see the dove a lot, like, for a passing or between worlds. The crow is more that.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a very much more that.
Yeah.
Like
Doves
the
are not
black
clever.
cat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Black is beautiful.
When we talk
Yeah.
about animals and totems and being changed, something that a lot of American people won't have ever come across and won't know is that the bird on the American money pre 1902
Mhm.
was actually, and the sigil for the United States pre 1902
The
was that
eagle.
no,
No?
Mm-mm. It was the Griffith. It was the
the
Griffin.
phoenix.
Oh, the phoenix.
It's the
Like my
phoenix.
car. Yeah.
Yes, it was the
Yeah.
phoenix, and in 1902 they changed it to the eagle.
I never knew that.
But so many things happened in 1902, correct?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that was monitored by what's his name's book? Charles. I'm forgetting the particular book, but all the
I
things
want
that
to say Fort. It's not Fort Charles
Charles
Fort,
Fort,
is it?
yeah. No, I
Is
think
it?
it is Charles
Yeah,
Fort.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was just so many things happened that year. So many things changed, like in relation to what Gary's saying.
Most of
Fascinating.
the inventions that we've got currently today came out in 1902 and 1903. Like air conditioning and all these, like, Harley Davidson, and I think something like 95% of the Fortune 500 companies that we have today were all founded or created in 1902 and 1903.
So what was that era, right? Was it around like when we had that World Fair thing?
It was, but it's actually connected to what Jason of Archaics has said, and it was a Phoenix year.
The Phoenix year.
Yeah, has what
The
he in
rise of
his
the
language.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
So
So
we're
Who said why? He said why, Gary.
yeah.
why? Because Jason has worked out that divisible by 138-year periods, that we get unnatural resets or problems or issues that happen for an entire year. And so what's believed is that the elites, the dumb elites, knew that there was going to be some kind of event happening in 1902, and so they went underground and they took all their wealth with them. And when in 1902 nothing happened, they came straight up, and then they unleashed all the wealth that they'd stolen in the late 1800s and created all the companies to continue where we are to this day.
Well, I got the flesh of the goose while you were talking, my brother. Confirmation. This is accurate, is what I'm feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Rockefellers, I think from memory, this is now memory, was that in 1901 they went on holiday and were not seen by anybody. And then all of a sudden in 1902 nothing happened devastation wise, and so they came up from under the ground and released and carried on with their agenda, or started the agenda in which they had wanted to start. Because we also have in 1902 the beginning of the changeover for the books. So before 1902 all the libraries in the world had old books, and then in 1902 we have a new printing press regime, all new books, and the libraries were given by the Rockefeller Foundation all brand new books, and all the old books were removed from the libraries, and then the new book versions came in. And then in 1945 we get that again, or 1946, after the Nuremberg trials, where certain books were then removed from the libraries and new versions of books were then again put into libraries. There you go.
And I think we're going through this again now, huh?
Yes.
Because history, as we all know it, this is nothing new under the sun. History is created by the victors or the so it's all fabricated, it's all made up. There's so much like unknown true history, but I think that maybe we're coming into that cycle again from 1902. This is what it is: the rise of the phoenix, the golden era. Truth is coming online.
Yeah.
Liberation. And you know what? Is it something new? I don't think it is something new. I think it is something called remembrance, because we are awakening and we're remembering. And that is what we're going through right now. Hence the phoenix, the firebird, the griffin.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've obviously done a lot of research with this, with Jason of Archetypes, and spent years looking at all this kind of stuff, quite sadly and almost. But I've looked at...
Someone's at the door.
No worries. I've looked at quite a lot of the history and the chronology that Jason's done, as well as other bits and pieces. And if we work out the 138-year periodicity, then in 2040 is the next period, or the next year of that 138-year cycle. And the elites hid in 1902 for a reason. And so it's very likely, and Jason believes so. I don't know. I haven't seen the research to him, but I can only trust what he's done and what he says. And so 2040 is likely to be a very difficult year for some parts of the world.
And that'll be building up, right? I mean, from the 2030s, that
Yes.
energy will be building up. He talked about that, how things will be politically building up to that point. In other words, we'll be feeling the rise of the phoenix as we move through the 2030s. And that will affect all of us. But what's fascinating about the phoenix, if I remember correctly from what Jason was talking about, is that they're hiding from it you know, they're preparing, as they always do, to hide from it out of fear for knowing who they really are,
Yes.
you know, and what the consequences of that means for them. For us, do we need to fucking hide underground like cowards?
No.
No.
No, 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 no. It's a new day, a new dawn. We rise.
And that's the thing. This is where my like Chris code from Fibonacci sequence things. We have a sequence of rebirth and death, rebirth and death, rebirth and death. And I believe that's linked to the Fibonacci sequence. And so the Phoenix is fundamentally part of the program of the Fibonacci sequence of death and collapse. But only those who are on that frequency, I think, will see that and will feel that and observe it. And everybody who's on the higher spiritual plane of the crystalline code, they will go to a different reality and they won't see it at all. And I'm fairly certain that although we're fully aware of Jason's research and he's right as far as I'm concerned, we're actually not going to see it. Why don't you pull some cards on that, Richard, just to see if because I don't think those that are on the crystalline code, we have the time wave split, the timeline split that Honey talks about. We're talking about the same kind of things, just different language.
Mm-hmm.
But that split of going up, which is a crystalline code, which is Mother Gaia's energy,
Mm-hmm.
which is a creational code. If we're surfing that one rather than the Fibonacci people, those that have got low vibrational frequency, are going to see this kind of stuff, which would make sense why the elites hide from it, because they know they can't get onto the crystalline code to ride out of it. So they have to make alternative, arrangements.
Absolutely, but I also feel, brothers, that we're already crystalline based now. The change has been done. This is why we have been going through so much last 6 months, last year, last several years. Now it's ramped up. I do believe that all our DNA strands are online. We just don't know how to switch them on. Flip the hair. So I got a lot. I got a lot of cards that jumped out right now. So in regards to your question, my brother Gary, I got 7 cards out of 9 that flew out. Oh, I got another. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful. They're all flyouts.
Flip again.
Flip. Woo! And now I just need 2 other cards. So, okay. The first one that flipped out was the King of Pentacles. So that is the king of everything that is abundance in regards to your question, my brother. Okay, so it's a beautiful result. All right, King of Pentacles. He is the one that is all about abundance, right? Like everything is beautiful and in control in a time where we're reevaluating, analyzing, looking at the progress, everything that we've planted as a seed. What does it look like as it's spurting up in regards to the creepy crawlies, the people who have used the griffin on their flags, as in, what was it? Was that the Rothschild? No, they used the lion. The griffin was like a British, was it not? Like royally, the griffin on their flag?
No, it's a double-headed eagle that they now use.
That's what it is? Okay, yeah. Well, anyway.
Looking in so two different directions, which is...
Right, I remember.
There we go,
now, did you want to say something?
It's Janus.
Janus. Okay, yes. So in the now moment, everyone who's been uncomfortable for such a very stretched out long period of time, we're getting awakened, the hollow, the aha moment, the heartbeat is ba-bam, ba-bam. secrets of the universe are now coming online to reveal themselves in a time where everyone is holding by a thread with the Nine of Wands. Nines are before tens, tens are endings. Wands, in this sense, is something grueling, carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder. But we're still holding on. We're still not giving up, but we're bruised up. We're damaged. For the future, there is a lot of stress, sleepless nights, Nine of Swords, but it's exaggerated stress, right? It's blown out of proportion because next comes emotions like the alpha, the elixir of life coming in, the fountain of youth with the Ace of Cups. And then we have a new day, a new dawn called reincarnation, a new cycle, the new golden era, the rise of the phoenix, a new chapter, a start over. In the clarifiers, it was like a little wishy-washy in the past with this beautiful military card. He has his heart on his sleeve. So like he could take a step forward, a step back, depending on what the collective is going through. Now at the heartbeat, it's the death of an era for the rebirth of a new one with Mr. Death card here. And then we are self-made, sovereign, independent, in need of nothing lording over us. Bang.
There we go.
And you know what I love is like people say like in the comments, oh, when you read your cards, I listen to you on stoner speed because they slow me down. Did I answer your question? I think that I did, but I channel, so I
okay. It shows the split, and it shows it shows the mental anguish of having to leave potentially people behind, moving on to something new, which is then the Fool's Journey, which is then the start of the new beginning of the age of what we're going to be doing, you know. So
the rise of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm taking 3 other cards. My goal, look, guys, look, to confirm, we got the Sun. Okay, the happiest card of the tarot deck. The Sun is bright. Okay, so solar flares, Gaia, Schumann's resonance. We're riding this dragon like all over again, rebirthed, sponsored by the Creator. The Emperor, that's the Creator. And then for the second special appearance, the Fool, a new day, a new dawn, reincarnation, a new chapter. Bang.
It's fascinating. I mean, Chief Ironbush did an interview with Jason, could have been a year or 2 ago now, I don't know. But he actually looked at the astrology, the stars, and he showed in the stars and the formation working off the Bible. And like Chief Ironbush feels the same way as you do about the Bible, by the way, Richard. So he's just using it as a source reference to show that there's multiple different directions or angles that we can see this from. And he read some of the Bible passages out, and he reflected them to the stars and where that meant they should be. He did the chart, and the chart showed that the stars in 2040 were going to be exactly where the Bible said they would be for the turning of.
I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. I mean, you know, when you've got people coming from completely different angles, but able to get the same result.
Yes.
It's like, whoa, you know. But I get flushed of the goose because I'm very pleased I'm not going to be seeing what's happening in 2040, because it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, I did the human design chart for that, and I shared it with Jason in one of our Discords, and it was really interesting what I saw, because I actually saw kind of some of the events that will be occurring in the chart. And in the astrology chart, I'd have to pull it up again, but I don't remember the details I saw. Chief Ironbush must have been touching on very specific fixed stars, you know, or maybe messing.
It's like Aquarius and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Where the 3, it said like there'll be 3 stars or these people, and he said, well, these people are actually this star, and this star, and he proved and showed where they would be, and that so these people would be at Jesus's feet. And he said, well, if you take Jesus' feet, and it was very clever how he did it. So if you guys ever want to look at the Chief Ironbush video, it's the last 15-20 minutes. You don't have to do the 2 hours, but if you
Hmm.
go to the last 15-20 minutes, it's the last 15-20 minutes where Chief Ironbush drops that one. Sorry,
Wow.
Meten, carry on.
Yeah, no, I'll check that out. No, there's nothing else to add except I remember doing both the astrology charts and the human design for 2040. And then of course there's more developments after that according to his chronology for 2047,
46,
46.
2046. Yeah.
And then there's one more event for 2000, is it 50? 50 or
I think
60?
2070 is another big one, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
But I
Okay.
think there is one in 2050 and 2070, but these are not uh, um, destructional things as such. Um, I think the Bible states that in 2070 that the souls that have to stay here will be locked in for the
Right.
reset of the 21
And those who
something.
continue here will be under a different rule, and it goes really deep in this stuff.
Yeah, really deep.
There's
Yeah.
also that book, The Light of Egypt, um by Thomas Burgoyne, the Christian mystic. This was an 18th century book where he also talked about, I think the term was the nemesis. He also talked about the return that I think's talked about in either 2046 or 2050, something related to the 2070. And that's fascinating because that's like the whole idea. Do you guys remember the Superman film? Remember?
Yes, the original one.
Yeah, the original
Yeah.
one. Okay, so remember that scene. It might be in one or two. I rewatched one recently, so I think it's in one. I think in the opening scene, it shows Superman growing up and then being sent, right, to another world, right?
Mhm.
His father sends him away from his ice palace or wherever they are. And he grows up here on Earth. And at some point, I think his father battles them. There's these three beings, right? And they're all dressed in black,
And they
right? And
were
they're all
put into a
powerful.
mirror, like a
Yeah, okay.
prison
You're
mirror.
taking my fire. Slow down, slow
Oh,
down,
I'm
slow down.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what that okay. So it's
Sorry.
first off, it's really fun, right? That they're all wearing black, like like some kind of gothic band, or some kind of weird, you know what I mean? It's great. But then so there's three of them, and they're being, I think in the world of his father, they're in prison, so they're standing under trial, right? And they're all standing together, and there's this like moving circles around them, which is
Yes.
like prison chains, right? Except they're continuously moving. And so they're present and then they're under trial, and then they get some kind of their punishment is to be trapped inside of this two-dimensional, like spinning square, a black cube, right? Forever. And then so they get immersed inside of it somehow, right? We don't know what kind of temporal and spatial, wizardry they're doing. But all of a sudden they're all three of them, they're in it, and they're just like this, and it's like some
Help!
two-dimensional
Help!
square.
Yeah.
And they're being like tossed throughout space and time. It's just flying throughout all of a sudden. It's so weird. So in Thomas Burgoyne's book, The Light of Egypt, he has this chapter and he talks about these beings who've been imprisoned for, I think it's 25,000 years. And this is exactly, um, this, this is also in the book of Enoch, where there's
Oh,
angels being trapped for 25,000 years. And then they're to be released at a certain time. And so this is showing, you know what I mean? Like
true.
three beings being trapped and thrown in space and time. And that's the same thing that Burgoyne says in The Light of Egypt, that these beings they're trapped in some kind of Nibiru, some kind of planetoid or some kind of object.
Mm,
And they're flying through space or, whatever, space and time, whatever that is. And at some point they're going to be released.
mm.
And so, anyway, so it was just fascinating,
I- I'm
that
I'm
Superman film.
getting flesh of the goose with that one
It's
I
so weird.
know. I know.
because I'm getting that 2046 is the release, and Jason says it's the release of the eighth king, the king that never got to rule back in the earlier days. And oh, I'm getting proper fresh of the goose.
Yeah, and that one relates to 2000, I think it's 2000, around 2000 BC, right? Where the eighth king was going to rule, but then the cataclysms came.
Yes.
So then he wasn't able to complete or even begin his rule.
So he would have been a good king. No, like because this is all new. Like I know Superman and what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow like
Yeah,
your
yeah, no,
knowledge with
yeah.
Jason Archaic.
I don't know if it's a good king. Let's just ask my pendulum.
Because I see a good future for humanity.
Is the eighth king a good king? As in a benevolent? No.
So what we're talking about, to give you context, Richard, is I just to really hear what you just said, where you said you feel a good future for humanity.
I do.
What we're talking about is the future, not for humanity, but for those who remain.
Oh, thank you so much for clarifying, because I'm trying to wrap my head around, because I see the future and it's golden and everyone's free and it's beautiful. So hearing this, like we're talking what 25 years from now, that's not resign. Like that's not what I'm. Thank you, Meten. Okay,
this is the Fibonacci sequence. This is the Fibonacci sequence.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the creepazoids. So
yeah, those creeps.
So even when they come out from their, say they go underground and spend however long underground, and they pop up in 2047 going, yay, we can take over again. Well, they ain't. They're in deep trouble, because the eighth king comes back to rule, and he ain't going to put up with them because he's the main man. You see what I mean?
Yes, I see where you're going. Thank you.
Yeah. Because we won't be in that reality at all. We're talking about two different realities.
Okay, so you're talking about the merge, like the Dolores Canyon teachings of
the split. This is so we've had the split, and we'll be in the golden area. Let's put it this way: we'll be in the 5D, so that people understand. So we will go into the crystalline code of Mother Gaia, surfing on her beautiful energy of creation into 5D.
Yes.
Those that stay in the 3D realm,
they're going to get that.
They're going to get that.
Well, good for them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe maybe they need to learn. Maybe they're younger souls, whatever. We're not participating in that.
No, we're not there.
No.
No.
I know exactly who and what I am, and I think that both of you, all the family here is. No, we're going over there. We are already crystalline. Our DNAs, all those strands are there. We just got to wake them up. It's no, we're not going there with that king thing.
Yeah, because I think at that point is when the Bible says that time speeds up, and the third is taken from the day, and the third is taken from the night, and the third is taken from the year. Because the toil is so bad and it's so grim at that point that humanity will not survive a full 365-day year under that kind of.
But even at that, right? I mean, like, even if it doesn't survive, like with the merge, right? I see like the Dolores Canyon teaching. I agree, it is a split. We're crystalline. But those who are in the other, where that is going to happen, even if we love them, even if they stay there, the thing is death is bullshit. It's not real. It's only a stupid word. I talk to spirits day in, day out. My papa, who's passed away, is always around me. I feel him. I joke with him. Like, it's not true. Death is an illusion, and that fear of death was in order to decay, for us, our avatars, to decay really rapidly. So like, okay, so yeah, they stay there into that war thing, but once they're passed away, they are free.
But they're not going to be free, because they're locked in to the start of the reset to go back to the beginning again. And they will be like the Adamu and the Adam and Eve people to repopulate the world.
Okay, I see where you're going. So again, like a lockdown, or when the president calls a what do you call it when the president says no more open borders? It's a I declare martial law.
There we go.
That's what you mean, a martial law. Could I take a few cards on this?
Oh, please do.
Okay, because I'm highly interested and intrigued by this. All right, tell me everything higher self, oversoul, and inner flame in regards to this fascinating subject, because I am learning. This, guys, for me, it's a show between us through divine masculines, but I'm learning with you right here, with these two like alphas here. Thank you, guys. But I want to hear from my higher self now. Tell me in regards to what my Gar has just shown me.
Well, I'm so pleased Meten's actually seen some of the same stuff as I have. So, because it helps that it's not just me sort of like, oh God, am I getting this right or not? But it's very interesting because we're kind of talking about biblical texts of prophecies of a 3D realm and what's happening or going to happen potentially,
as well as additional texts from mystic. And I mean, this is also in the Necronomicon about
that's a Book of the Dead. That
correct. These
I know that because of the movie Evil Dead.
That's great.
That's the only way I know that. Yeah,
that's classic.
I saw Evil Dead, I think I was 13, because that's a 1983-84 movie. And I saw it at the cinema. And do you guys know that the girl in front of my row, she actually barfed during the movie?
Wow.
And you look at it now and it's like kind of silly. It's more a comedy. But back then it was like intense. All right. So can I read my cards?
Please.
All right, so I don't really fully remember the question, but I remember the energy, and I was spreading.
It's about the martial law of the people on the 3D realm at that point in time
and stuck there.
Yes.
Okay, so the first card that comes in is Back for More Victorious, where everyone is celebrating. So that could be seen as a yes. In a time where people are having like oh, woe is me, sorrow, right? Like disappointment. It's a gloomy card looking at what has spilled from the cups, but not everything is lost because there's still two cups standing up. It is in a time of where like there's a give back, a generosity, the meek will inherit the earth kind of energy. So during that time, it's a tower moment. So whenever that happens, because the second row is during the event, it's a tower moment, a foundation crumbles, goes into quicksand, lightning strikes. At the heartbeat, we got the magician. The magician does exactly just that, magic, as above, so below, tampering with all the elements, and all that is magical. In regards to, well, that could be like a dome, maybe, the 10 of Cups, like lockering in, because this, yes, has a feeling of over the rainbow, happy family, but it could also mean about keeping up a facade to it for the future afterwards. So it's something well calculated from the beginning of times. A man with a plan, triple, quadruple chess player, the art of war. He will deliver his pineapple where he sets up. But then it's a time of surrendering to something very stressful, information, tensor endings. This one is about stress. Look at how his face is plunged deep in the sand, all the swords in his back. And then we got good militia rushing in. High-ho silver kind of energy with passion, fire, integrity. Clarifying, I got my other high-ho silver to the rescue about information, rushing in a time where it's the end of the world for the rebirth of a new one, and then we're going to celebrate. In the Goldens, I have fastest moving card, the chariot, so it moves rapidly from one universe to another or the world over, and if it does travel, it's usually in regards to something about the justice system or justice information about duality. There you go with your Janices from dark to light.
We'll talk
then
about
we go into
We'll talk about that card in a minute.
Okay, then we go to the heartbeat of the golden babies, healing, the ongoing healing. It is permanent healing. And then we get, again, the magician, which was the heartbeat over here. So there's truth, but I think that it's breakable, that's truth. Because I see interference with, there's so much here, Gary and Meten. Truth, yes, but I don't think that it's solid like rock. I think we can break it. I think that with our intention, even them on the other world during that lockdown, that what's the word I was looking for? The president.
Martial law.
Yes, I think it could be broken. I think things are changing, even if we're on the other simulation where we're crystalline. I think there's hope for the other one. I don't see it as looming. I see healing. I see changes. That's what my cards and my higher self are tapping into. Let me go ask. Bring out your rock star, baby. Let's do it together. Bring out your rock star. All right. Yes. Hello, rock star. Meet
happy
mine.
to go.
All right. So, Aurelia. So, was I accurate in the downloads that I got? Because this is a big, serious conversation right now. So, it's a big fat yes. Yeah. So that merged the other division. Keep in mind Dolores Cannon. I love her. She's the perfect granny that wants to make you an apple pie. I adore Dolores Cannon. All right, so let's go. Yeah, it is all accurate. There is changes. So there was truth with the division, but I see that even those left behind into, like, if you want to call them like the NPCs trying to grow like a soul aspect, a sentient aspect, there's a change here. The change that we've done is already affecting the other left behind. Like it's like a rippling effect through timeline simulations. I see it actually. What
I have another
getting?
question. I have another question for you with the cards on this one.
But are you getting a yes? I wasn't even looking. Yeah, we've changed something today. Even those going into like that creepazoid, robotic controlled world where you have to whatever exist because of a cell phone, and if you're not famous, like you can't eat, like that shit. There was a series, okay, not you, Meten, you will know because you don't watch TV, my gar. I watched a few episodes, Black Mirror on Netflix. Do you know this? Yeah, so it was that like a social, what do you call it, credit? Like if people like you, then you have freedom to travel. But if people give you a bad review, that you're homeless, like... You remember that? Yeah.
I think it was the main protagonist of that episode was some young woman, right?
Yeah. And
She
she
was
was
like
always
freaking
like,
out,
oh, about her food and the fucking
taking pictures of her food, right? Images of her
yeah.
food, trying to like get her
Uh,
score up, and then something
yeah.
happened, right? What
Yeah.
happened? I don't remember. What was the details that occurred in that
Well, she
episode?
probably farted. Who cares, right? But I think it's the message behind it. That was a,
Yeah,
I
right,
don't,
right.
that was what was going to happen, but I'm not seeing it in the cards. Aurelie is not saying that. I think we changed something. I think we're awakening so much that we're doing a ripple effect to those left behind.
Well, I have another
I hope
question that
so.
follows this. I have a real big question.
That was a light episode. There were
Yeah,
much darker episodes in Black Mirrors. Go ahead, Gary.
I have another question. So the chariot card.
Yes.
One of my subscribers sent me a very interesting email with some pictures of the chariot card. Now, if you look at the chariot card, look at the shoulders of the chariot. What do you see on his shoulders?
Okay, I need my eyeballs, Femi. Well, there's two moons there, Janice.
Two faces.
Oh my God, I see them. I never saw
deck.
that. Okay, let me try to find because it's hard in gold, Femi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hard to see. Like, why was I like restricted with that golden card? Oh, I couldn't even see it. Let me find it. So you can. Oh, here we go. All right, let me bring it up. I never saw that.
Yeah,
there's a nose, eyes.
So you have the moon, and the half moon is Diana and Janice, and Diana is the female version of Janice. Yeah.
And okay, that I got.
Wait, where's the two faces? Where is it?
On the shoulder.
Look at this, my brother. Do you see him?
Shoulder.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna check my
Yeah. Because Janice, in the early portrayals of Janice as well, has a face it's three faces actually, and there's two facing away, and then there's a smaller face, and that's what we see with that card. And we also have Janice standing under the four pillars or the canopy, which a certain
this
religion,
card?
the certain religion gets. So is it on yours?
The four pillars are.
Yeah, but look at the bottom. You've got the two faces facing away from each other.
Where?
Yes, yes,
The two
yes,
black
yes,
at the
at the
bottom.
Oh yeah,
bottom.
yeah, right.
They're facing away from each other, so you still have the same energy because Janice looks both forward and past.
Amazing.
And I have to give a shout out to anybody
they,
who's really interested in Janice, please follow or have a look at Black Sheep Researcher, and he does a video called Janice 101, and it's really interesting. And I am going to be doing more stuff in my channel on Janice because I've been doing some real deep dives, but I needed to take a break from it because it was getting real heavy.
it's
But
a heavy situation.
yeah. Now, but Janice is the god of beginnings and endings. So the fact that that card came there just before the world card when you did your pull meant that the chariot is fast moving, but it's also a fast moving beginning and end. It's a transitional period to the world card of a change to something new.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean? Now, I have another question, right? And a lot of people will resonate with this question. We have the 144,000.
Yes.
We have 144,000 casing blocks on the Great Pyramid of Giza. Our seven chakra system, when you add up our own seven chakra system, equals 144,000. Okay. And the Bible says that when we get to this stage, when the people are at the stage that we said when I can't remember the word now that we were using, they were in not lockdown, but in
martial law.
Martial law. The 144,000 actually a real thing, and will there be people from the 5D looking after these people? Will there be 144,000 immortal 5D people in the 3D realm helping these people? Because I think your cards showed that, and you said we weren't quite right because of the lockdown. You said we were missing something.
There was something missing, yes.
And I got 144,000 straight away. So I'm wondering if the 144,000 is 144,000 people from the 5D realm that come back down into the 3D to assist these people's passage through what will be a very dark time.
So I'm going to ask my higher self, my inner flame, the universe, to follow your question. I feel it's something more like DNA strands, but that's what I'm feeling. I don't know if it's necessarily people, but I don't know, right? I'm just feeling it's more like, okay, so what do we have? I'm not sure about that, buddy.
Because I think this is what the biblical texts say. That the texts say that the 144,000 will stay behind during this period and help and assist the people.
Yeah. Let's see what else I can get. I got the Two of Wands, the Three of Swords, the Hierophant, the Creepy Crawlies.
Have you ever heard of that, Meten? Does that ring a bell with you with the 144,000?
Yeah, I remember when I remember that's talked about in Revelations, correct?
Yeah.
Am I correct on that? Okay. Yeah, so that's very interesting.
Okay. Well, this reading is very interesting as well. Okay, so Femi, in regards to how my Gargar is bringing this whole question up, the subject, we start off with the Two of Wands. So that's in the background, holding the world in our hand in the 11 portal, making plans for said destination, said journey, making the plans to create a new world. There where there's a lot of heartbreak, a stick in the wheel, a third wheel party, the Three of Swords sorrow, created by the creepy crawlies, Kazarian Mafia, the deletes, blip, blap, bloop. And then in the now moment, we got another creepy crawly, the King of Cups. So I put him like often a Rothschild, a King of England related to that. Apparently, yes, Gary, you are right, because a heartbeat, ba-bum, ba-bum, is an alpha, the Ace of Swords, you speak of truth. And then it's a time of the meek will inherit the earth and whatever it means. Rebalancement, like giving back. Future, sorrow, Five of Cups. All right. So we're focused on the spilled wine glasses, coffee, water, whatever you want to say, but there's not everything that is lost. We still have two cups standing up, which is something to not totally give up, but we're focused on the not halves. We are in sorrow. Oh, woe is me. Then we got the 10 of Cups. So that could either be we're victorious after that, or we're keeping up a facade under a form of a dome. But then we end ninth, last, and final card with the world. Something has wrapped itself, or in regards to the world, or travels the world over. In the clarifyings, we went from two of wands for the first card. Now we got the Three of Wands. So with the two, you were making the plans for a world. With the three, the plans are made. You're waiting for your ship to come in so you can embark on your plane, your train, whatever it is, and fly off. There where we got the King of Integrity. So in political questions, that would often be my white hat's trump card, but we're not talking about politics. So we are talking about that energy and behind of that, the white hat, which is integrity, it's fiery, it's creativity, it's passionate, because something extremely grueling has now come to an end with the 10 of Wands. We're dropping all the burdens so that they can go fly down, roll down the hill. Let me get my gold dims. And Gary, right now, you have to connect because I already forget your question. So your job is to like connect, okay? Okay, so the first card is Strength, taming the beast by the mouth once and for all. Second card is going to be this one. And then we got the Emperor, Creator, loud, proud, online. So I love this. We had the creepy crawlies. Now we got the Creator here. The Creator will trump the creepy crawlies. And then we end with, there's the boob job, the star. Okay. Ongoing healing, the age of Aquarius, what we have entered right now. Golden era, the rise of the Phoenix. Yeehaw.
Well,
so,
the way those cards came out, for me, told a story to me in the fact that I think the 144,000 is kind of correct, because it shows the creepazoids, how we're coming in, or some people will stay or come back down in, protect these people and help them, help the souls pass through to the next thing. Because I'm pretty sure the Bible says that these people will be immortal. They can't die. They can't be hurt by the creepazoids. So that would mean
well, yes, there you go.
That would mean that they are actually the Creator. They have the Creator's energy in them.
Yes.
For the protection of the souls as they transit through this very dark period. Almost.
Well, yeah, Creator was here. The Emperor. But it looks very positive down the road. So, yes, there is truth to this.
And that's the positive part about what we're saying, because there must be a yin and a yang. There can never be total darkness, and there can never be total light. Death of an old, it's from one thing to another thing. And that transitional stage, the bit in the middle, is where I think the 144,000 come in, where they assist the people and make their toil less.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I was sure it was all about DNA strands, is what I had felt. I know there is a connection, but there's a connection here too. That yesterday because the Bible, I know there's a lot of truth in it. I just saw it being like that's not the last and final word. It's not a book that is untouchable. I saw the trickeries when I was studying the Mandela effect. It's like, no, Jesus did not wear a golden garter belt. Give me a fucking break. Right? I mean, so then I threw that Bible out because I didn't trust it.
Yeah.
I didn't trust it. So thank you for this, because it's a reminder to me, and probably you also defend me, that yes, I mean, it was corrupted, that book, but there is a lot of truth in it.
There is.
Truth and disclosure, like the movies we watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
If you think about it, your DNA feeling could be 100% correct. Because if the I'm getting flesh of the goose on this one already. Oh my God. The 5D people, the 144,000 that stay in the 3D, would have all their DNA activated.
Yes. Okay.
They would
I
have
think that's
to,
what it is.
because they would be immortal to whatever happened, because their DNA would be their cloak of protection. Oh God.
I love your mind. I love your mind. Your brain, like I have a crush on the way that you call it dyslexic. I have a crush on how your brain works. Like I got 5 cards that flew out. I don't know if you want to keep talking.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so the 144,000 that come to look after the people that are left from this split of the crystalline code to the Fibonacci, the black cube control mechanism that we're currently under, or have been under, these people will have the 144,000 looking after them, and they have to have special powers or abilities, because the Bible says so. And why would you go somewhere and put yourself in jeopardy? So if the DNA is switched on 100%, and that card flew out. The DNA,
you're gonna love this reading.
If the DNA is switched on 100%, the creepazoids, the dark energy, can't do anything to you, because you've got your enlightenment. You've got to the point of enlightenment of the 144,000 energy within the body.
Yes.
Which connects to the Great Pyramid of Giza's upload that we spoke about several weeks back when we did the pyramid. I said that was a machine that uploaded information into the holography that would ensure that happened. So, what did you get with the cards?
All right, brace yourselves.
Are you happy with this, Meten? Do you follow? You agree with what we're? Can you see where we're going with this?
It's very interesting. I mean, to really move into that space and see what's actually happening. You know what I mean? Because we don't talk about that, this other side of the frequency, the frequency fence. So yeah, this is very right on seeming.
All right, so the first card that comes in yesterday, Femi, okay? So behind the bush is the 3 of Pentacles. So that's all about a collaboration coming on from several platforms working on a project together with the 3 of Pineapples. There where we come back from war victorious, where the whole villagers are celebrating us head on. Yeah, you slain that witch. Janice, whatever. And then we are like full celebrating with this beautiful 10 of Pineapples. Happy life, happy family, lack of nothing, total abundance. In regards to your question, it is, or your subject, I should say, Gargar, it is like the Wheel of Fortune. Everything flip-flops in everyone's direction. There where the creepazoids are at the bottom. And now I just laugh because I heard the comment, like, I got to put you on stoner speed when you see Okay, Creepazoids at the bottom, Angelics at the top. This is going to Vegas, winning the lottery, the jackpot, and coming home a winner in the heartbeat. Ba-bam, ba-bam. This is where there's like war of warding, inner conflict. It's like a warring time about news, about information. It's a dysfunctional one, and it keeps everyone stuck with the 2 of Swords, blocked, unable to see what's really in back of them with information. You cannot move with the 2. Future, we got the queen of emotions, the queen of cups. So yeah, she's the empath queen. She's got an emotional intellect to her. She feels her heart is in the right place. But people often, readers, see her as like so much of an empath that she can be like depressed or sad all the time. This is not true. She's looking at the cup, okay? Like what's inside of that. She can be quite vindictive regarding the emotions. And then what kicks in for the future, we got the Witch of the Tarot. That's who I am. That's what we all are here. Intuition, the psych. I don't like the word psychic because, you know, like psych got you. But anything that is intuition or even woo, you know. Well, you know what I mean, the Witch of the Tarot. In regards to who, the last night and final card, the Devil. So look how this is all coming out. A devil system that chains people up, right? Clarifying, we're going to the age of Aquarius. Now, okay, I forgot to give her a boob job. I'm just gonna, I hate this. I hate having to do this. I forgot to give her a boob job. I will do this right after. The age of Aquarius, it's so stupid. It's so silly. Age of Aquarius, healing, like tapping into the waters, bringing it down to our simulation, distilled water, like very healing, in a time where everyone is like self-inflicted mental imprisonment, trapped into that prison planet kind of energy in regards to the information. But then the last one is again a start over, the remembrance on how to start over with two of wands. Hold the world, Gaia, beautiful goddess Gaia in our hands, and then we make preparations, plans of how it's going to look like. Goldens, we're coming out of a slumber, dark night of the soul, off-world energy, enlighten. We're calling to all the sailors at sea, come on home, babies, we love you. There at the heartbeat, where it's a new day, a new dawn, with the Fool, a new chapter, reincarnation, in regards to secrets, illusion, smoke and mirrors, and or death. Okay, well, transmission over.
People can put up to normal speed again now.
Like I'm getting faster. It's crazy. Like I'm channeling new energy. It's like I really am a machine gun, ain't I? Like rapid fire. And I'm sorry, family. I don't know how to stop yet. I think it's gonna just increase.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So what did you take from that,
like
Meten?
lower it when I'm
Yeah, so what did you take from that reading, Meten? I mean, you obviously know a little bit of tarot just like I do, not a lot, but did you feel
he knows more than he says?
I know, he's a dark horse, isn't he? Bless him.
He's a sexy dark horse.
The dark horse.
Did you feel from that reading that the DNA is going to be activated and these people are going to be a different kind of people helping these people?
Yeah, this is very interesting because he got the signifiers, Richard got the signifiers for the kind of realm that it is, obviously with the devil card. And then there was some other stuff there. The star card is like, it is a sign of hope, you know, the star card. And it's also like in my deck, when I do the cards, that's a major signifier. You know, usually I have 5 signifiers in the deck. And if any of those cards show up for a reading, you know, or for any kind of reading, then it's a special significance, and it's almost like some kind of guiding light in the sky. And there was some other cards you got. What were the other cards? I think
I put them all away. I don't remember.
But those are
I
the
don't
two that I
remember. Like when I do a reading, I forget right away after. I'm
each
sorry.
probably channel it all in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Right. There was some others signifying. I think you got a lot of cards with the pentacles, you know, signifying a new kind of dawning.
Yeah, that was the third card on the first row, the 10 of Pentacles. Happy life, happy family, lack of nothing. He was there, yes.
Yeah, which would be us, which would be, I say us, but it would be the full DNA activation of the
there you go, there you go. Ah, we need a Gar. Look, I love your mind. Again, I got a crush on your brain. I'll go get some coffee as you speak.
So yeah, that's really quite fascinating. I mean, like I've only read about this stuff or not read about it, you know, I don't read, but I've only really observed this stuff and seen it in spoken and try to understand and picture in my head what the scenario could be like in this continuation of the 3D Fibonacci realm. I mean, what about you, Meten?
I mean, obviously, it's a kind of negation in itself because, as we've discussed, as you've also shared in your videos, the Fibonacci sequence is a sequence that ribbons out into nothingness. Or if it does into nothingness, that nothingness becomes a kind of just snake eating its tail, continuously, just a loop and nothing more than that. And so the constriction of such a realm is that the beings trapped in there, not really trapped because they're spirit essence still. They're just in whatever level of development they are. They're like in, right, this kind of repeating show. They're being like they're in this like it's almost like they're living. And these ideas were interesting. They were first shared by Shane the Ruiner. He had his own site where he talked about the inverse realm, and he talked about as if it's full of recording of projectors, projector instruments, projecting like holographic prisms. And so the beings in the realm were just recorded and just kind of being replayed, ad infinitum, like someone pressed the play button on them, or there's some kind of clockwork, right? And there's and it all goes back to a book that I'm going to start reading on my channel called The Invention of Morel, which is this kind of world. This is a book that came out in the late 1930s, and it's an Argentinian kind of surrealistic, fabulous masterpiece. And in this book, and it's influenced so many films, like French films, American films. It's like an incredible film where the whole idea is this character is talking about he's on an island. And then he starts describing all this equipment on the island that's like a projectors, and they're creating images, like a film almost, right? But like a film that is projecting instead of on a screen that we watch. The screen is the reality of where this character is living. It's in his island. But then he's saying he's living on an island. We don't know where he really is. So there's these like layers as you read the novel, as I'm going to read it on my channel. There's these layers where you start to realize, wait a second, he's not on an island. Wait a second. Who are these characters he's talking about? Are they just projected holograms? And what does that mean? And this goes to your slit experiment because this is the relation between how a hologram is created, how an image is created, and how, in a sense, that's an inverse world. What I was saying before you got here, Richard, was how Gary asked what did you ask, Gary? Like, what was my sense of this world being described?
Yeah.
And so what I had said is it reminds me of this YouTuber, Shane the Ruiner, and how he talked about the inverse world is a world where souls and bodies run into these repeating images, and they're just like recordings. But we, from our programming, we're like, oh, these are God beings, and they have power over us. But really, he was talking about how they're just kind of recorded images that are just replaying as if they're real, but really they're just like on play, on stop, on rewind, on fast forward,
Yes. Yeah.
So it's fascinating because it brings up what I'm going to do on my channel with the novel that I'm going to read. So just thought a quick share on that.
And that channel, everybody, is Plutonic Planes. So please subscribe to it and listen to the readings of this because it's fascinating. Because what that then links into is the holographic nature of this realm and our perception of reality. I was having a good chat with the lovely Mel behind me, behind the screen.
The Wizard of Oz!
The Wizard of Oz behind me, the genius that is Mel. And she she was we were talking about this, and um, one of my shows, Matrix Mindfulness, I can't remember which one, this lady did this really thought-provoking comment about if there was nobody, no sentient soul, no spark of in this realm, would this realm be able to exist anymore? And what Meten is just describing is one sentient soul on an island is creating a reality tunnel, is creating a reality. And because there's an interaction between that energy spark and this reality, the reality then starts to fill the background in with, can you see where my brain's going, Meten?
Yeah. Wow. That's, yeah, you said it. Wow. That's the next level of it, you know? Wow.
It is such a next level. And that is awakening, guys. We're coming out of the sleep. We're starting to see what truth really is. We're all hungry for the information, but we should not really like have to like rush, rush, rush. And what's like I don't know if there's any like final goal of a message. I think all of it is like, like a flower blooming in every petal, and every time a new petal is coming, a new information, a new fragrance is coming in. And that is the beauty of our life experience, because I believe we're in an organic simulation. This is the sleeping era. Being alive, human, I don't think that's the real. The real's up there. But I feel really awake in the real now, in the fake, in the sleep now. That's a great awakening.
You described it really well with the flower. Every time a new leaf or a new...
And it's a flower moon tomorrow or Tuesday. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Every time we get a new leaf or a new flower coming out, it brings a new dimension into our reality of a new energy, of the ability of a new remembrance of who we are and the next step up the ladder of our own development and growth.
Yes.
You're a genius, Richard.
Well, am I a genius? Yes, but a different genius than you or Meten. That's why I think that we make a great male version of Charlie's Angels. Of course, I want to say it because Pharaoh. But threes are sacred. You bound everything in three. So yeah, I'm a genius, but it's a different genius. That we all have a genius, all three of us, and I think this is why it works well, right? Like you, Gary, it's like the mind. You're able like to conduct and like keep a record and information and bring things. Meten is very good at studying like everything that has to do with the human design and astrology and all that. Although at times too much in his mind, but he's got a great heart, and I know he's working for the instinct. Me, I work all on instinct. So the three of us coming together, I know I can feel the vibration in the algorithm already, that we're going to answer a lot of, because we didn't even have a subject today, guys.
No.
We wanted our brother Meten on our rock in Pandora's box. And as it's going, it's like free surfing, free wheel riding. Judas Priest, free will riding. And I think it's just so beautiful. It makes me so happy, because I am happy to be awake within the dream state of the simulation. And this is what we're doing. I think this is it, going full circle to what you were saying about the other Dolores Cannon, two world splitting, and then they're going to be trapped. We're coming out of ours.
Yes.
And who says we cannot help them? Maybe we're the 144 that's going to come help them.
I agree.
That's a new download I just got. It could be us, because of evolution doesn't stop. It doesn't have walls. It doesn't have floors. It doesn't have like limits or borders. Evolution is ongoing because life is everlasting. It will never end. There's no limit to it. And I think that's where we go from like fifth density dimension to the sixth, to the seventh, to the ninth, to the 12th, and then a new universe. Maybe when we get so high, we become creators and create our own universe.
And that has been said before. Because again, if we can go back to Meten's genius of...
Oh yeah, he's so sexy. Look at him.
Of the human design. because again, something that has struck we how I met Meten was
Yes.
in a Discord. There's a group called Discord or a platform called Discord.
So that's like Telegram, I guess,
Yeah,
or something.
similar
Okay.
to Telegram, but far more complex and something I'm
Okay.
terrible at working. But Jason Archaics used to have a channel on there.
Your hero.
Well, you know, he's a genius, and I do like a lot of what he says is absolutely amazing. But
Yes.
decoding it into understanding and putting it into context can sometimes be quite difficult for people. So, you know, and this shows we've just done that, you know, with the biblical stuff and stuff. But obviously, I met some really lovely people in Discord with the archaic stuff. And then Jason pulled off from Discord to
Oh,
concentrate on his own stuff.
okay.
And we've met some really lovely people. And I was invited onto this thing called human design, which I hadn't got a clue about.
Yeah, I had a forum. I had a forum on the Archaics Discord, and
Yeah,
because people had asked me to open it up, and so I opened it up. And then you were in that, Gary. I was going to ask you. I can't remember from all the way back then.
I was invited in by Denise.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
how long ago were we talking about? Like 2 years, 3 years? What?
probably nearly 2 years, 18 months. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
We were on
Beautiful.
the Discord for about how long? Maybe a year?
Well, I was one of the first ones to join the Discord when Jason went on it, and I don't know how long ago that was.
I joined early too, and then you jumped on mine when I was kind of pushed out. So my forum was like what became threatening to that group because it
Okay.
started getting so popular. And things were being said behind my back, and I didn't say anything directly to anyone because I had no one to say anything to. So I just started to hear it. And I think you were on the forum at the time, right, Gary? Because what happened was, I think it was the niece that asked me. She was like, "Why don't you just create your own Discord?"
Yeah,
And I was like, "Hey, that's an idea." So some of the guys who ran that Discord for our kicks, they helped me create my own Discord. And so that's what I did. And now we have this huge human design Discord with all the resources and everything. And we meet up and chat and talk. And there's all these resources for human design and other stuff. And so, yeah, you were a part of that since the beginning, right, Gary?
yeah, fairly close on to the beginning. But what's fascinating about the human design is the name. It's the design of a human
Yes.
and the energy centers within the design. I'm sure Tim, when he brings up a chart, we can talk about this and show this in a minute. But we have energy centers within us, and depending on which energy centers within you are activated and have the potential to be super activated by the planetary alignments and the energies going on, is how you will react to certain stimuli. So you're even programmed as a human within the program of the toroidal field of consciousness to act and react in certain different ways. And so when you say we're us three are different, we are different because we have different human design characteristics
Yes.
that complement each other when put together. Would you not agree with that, Meten?
Yeah, totally agree. And there's even a chart, and I haven't experimented with it yet, but I'm sure it's on my software, where you could take three charts, so all of our charts, and then put it together and actually see the synergy that we're creating.
Well, you
Wow.
saw that on my birthday, right? That we all had, there was something similar between all three charts you saw.
Yeah,
Uh,
we all are the same type, so we all have the sacral center colored in and the throat center colored in. And I think we all had the same channel, which was the channel of the 3420, which is power and right now in the moment. And it's about
yes.
making thoughts deeds. And it's a
Yes.
pure manifesting generator channel, and all three of us have it.
Yeah.
So that makes us fast friends, because we have that similar
Yes.
kind of running energy. So yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
So what Meten just said there was, because we have that same channel, we're more likely to be friends with each other and
Mhm.
relate to each other and feel comfortable with each other. And that could explain why some of the Femi are more friendly with other people than they are with other people, because the design of your body internally, energy center wise, will always push you to somebody, or like a magnet, repel you from somebody. And
Yes.
that's a really fascinating facet of the human design, which is it's mind blowing that it's a program. It's a program of you within a program within a program within a program, like the Fumarian. We're inside a program. The stars are energies that create a program. The sun and the moon create a program. Nature creates a program. And within that program, our program
Mhm.
slots into this,
Mhm.
which sounds mind blowing. But when you can get your head around this,
It's
it's,
actually fun when you like surrender and let your hair like wrap around it. It's fun.
yeah. And then when you start digging into it and you have somebody like Meten who's so skilled in the observation of and being able to understand and see what these things mean. No, but it is. I can't remember that. I mean, I've got to a level with human design where I get it and I understand it. But for me to take the next step, I there's some kind of blockage.
Mm.
My partner Mel, she does. So Mel will get it and she'll really go into it and she'll understand it from Meten's teachings. And so we can really move forward, and I'll understand that on a certain day or a certain period of time, I might feel quite titchy and I might be a bit sharp. And it's because the design in me, the energy center, is making me spiky. And it's not anything that anybody else is around me is doing to me to create this reaction. It's the program within me that's making me feel that way on these certain
Mm.
dates. And to understand that is quite a big thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's another
Insane.
it's another great layer of understanding, right? That nothing's personal, but everything is incredibly personal, on the level of who we are and
Yes.
who we're not. And that interaction of those two forces all the time creates harmony or disharmony. So we're always working between those two energies.
Because we're all wired very differently. We all might come from the same creation aspects, different charts, but we're all wired differently. And together, that becomes a symphony.
Yes. But we're also wired differently because the creator or source, our connection to
Us,
source, us, wants different experiences. It
yes,
craves different, so
it's intelligence.
you will react differently to something that I would react differently to, which something Meten would react differently to.
Yes.
And within these three different reactions, three different emotional energies will be expelled into the universe
Yes.
for source to feed off and learn from and grow
And
from.
and I think that this has always been the human design of it, right? Problem is when we were capped in that prison, whatever enclosure, martial law, we were all programmed to think like, this is how I think. If you don't think like me, I'm on my guard. So I cut the cord. So instead of teaming up, because we're all wiredly differently, which is when you bring it all home, that's where you get the truth. We divide. Ego came in. So go, oh, we don't see eye to eye. I'm not going to listen to you. So you block yourself. You cap yourself. You what do you call it when you do to a baby boy? You cut the skin off. Like it's kind of a capping, right? Like, um,
Well,
Um,
you alienate yourself
yes,
from the ability to learn from that person because you disagree with them over one stupid thing.
yes, and therefore that's like the loop that goes on and being stuck in traffic and because we got something good right here, like creation, different programmed differently, wired differently. And when you connect, that's where like you get intrigued and then you blend your information together. You get the bigger perception, a bigger picture, and then you can evolve like the flower blooming. You
Brilliantly
know?
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meten, have you got any charts for the next day or few days about
Meten!
what that could be happening or you think that might be relevant? Because we've spoken about human design, and I'm sure the people would like to actually have a look at, because this is going to be very new to some of you and some of you not so new. And it initially when you look at it, you think, oh my God, what am I looking at? But actually, and it is quite complex, but if you take it back to a very basic level and you start understanding it from a basic way, it actually makes a lot of sense. So
You guys see this?
perfectly,
Yes.
perfectly.
Okay, so this is the chart for May 17th. And today, let's situate ourselves. Today it's May 11th. So this will be in about 6 days, but it's encroaching. It's already kind of going in that direction. And what it is, let me move because I got you guys in front of the column on the right-hand side. Okay, there you go.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks good for us. Yeah,
I
there you
can
go.
see you guys over there. Okay, so for the family here, this is the human design transits for March 7, so May 17th. And what you'll notice here, what I'll teach you guys here, if I can activate my cursor. Give me a second to do that. What I'm going to show you is how Uranus, the plane or planet Uranus, is going to be exactly conjunct the sun. And so, oh, here we go. Okay, you guys can see my cursor, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you look here, we have all these glyphs. And on this column, as it goes all the way down, the first glyph we have is the sun, which is symbolized by the glyph of the circle with the dot in the middle. And then what we don't have in astrology usually is a symbol for the earth. So in this
Mm.
case, we have it. It's a circle with the cross. And then we have the north node, which looks like a horseshoe going one direction. And then we have the south node, which is another horseshoe going in a different direction. And that's the energy that we're in right now. That's the dominant kind of magnetic pull of destiny we're all experiencing right now. And right now, that's in Pisces. So right now, it's really important to just get the hell out of our head and be in flow. Be in flow with Piscean energy, the magic of being, the intuition of just living in the moment and trusting your intuition. So the North Node's there in 36, and it's so funny because Richard does kind of reiterate this, which is great because the South Node's in Virgo. And we're not there right now. We're getting away from that. That's the past. We're over that. And guess what that's about? That's about being stuck in your head and overthinking, over analyzing, and just getting so heavy, you know? And as a Virgo myself, this, and as Richard mentioned, this is very common with me. This is like my history, and so I had to learn when I felt that I wasn't in my heart anymore, I had to come back down, when I got too mentally heavy, too top heavy, right, is the
Mm.
term. And so this is a time for me to practice that. And for all of us, we're all in this intuitive space for the next another year and a half of Pisces as our North Node destiny. And so as we come down further, this is the glyph of the moon. That represents our deepest heart. The moon is a very structured, repetitive kind of cycles within cycles. And then we have Mercury. That's like That's the messenger. That's where our mind is going. It's going here, it's there. It's bringing messages from the body to others, to the world, and getting those messages.
Mm.
And then we have Venus, which is our values. This is the glyph for Venus, the circle with the cross underneath, the cross of matter, right? And then Mars, which is our ability to make boundaries with others, which is like our sharp sense of ourselves, our sword with which we define ourselves. And
Mm.
then Jupiter, Jupiter's where we take in and absorb the world and take in the world and become one with it. And then we pull back again into Saturn and again cut our distinctions and see the 3D world and see what we've created in it. And then we have the three glyphs right here, the planetary incursions. I like to call them the outer terrorist planets because they're always like coming into our 3D Saturnian reality and they're always like opening us up, opening us
Mm.
up with lightning flash for our intuition or with sudden worlds all of a sudden opening up, sudden fantastic worlds that would be Neptune, and then sudden incursions of truth where our reality crumbles before our eyes and we see the essence of something. We see the authenticity of what it is. And that would be Pluto. And that's the truth that we come to terms with over and over and over again until we're clear on what it is. And as you guys can see here, or barely see, it's gate 41. And that's for all of us right now. We're all in this kind of Aquarian energy and we're all feeling it and looking at it through the lens of Pluto, what's authentic and what's not, and what's not
Mm.
authentic is being destroyed. And here we go to the channel to see what's lit up, or to the human design graph, rather, to see what's lit up by all the different gates. We program the gates in, right? As Gary was saying, it's a program within a program within a program,
Mm.
because the planets are programming agents. And this chart is this is like our blueprint ready to be programmed by these color rays emitted from the planets. And we have that for this date. And you could see the sun is in gate 8, line 3. And then to shoot down to the bottom to see Uranus down here, also gate 8, line 3. And then we go to gate 8 right here, and we see it's close to the throat. It's right there. And it's not creating a complete channel, but gate 8 has to do with the voice, the sound, the frequency
Mm.
of our expression, how we can hear authenticity or lack of authenticity in expression. And the throat center's open here, but the mind is active on this day. And that's really
Mm.
fascinating because if you look at it, it's like a trapped mind that day, right? It's
Right.
like the mind is, it's envisioning, it's seeing visions of things. That's the channel 6124. It's the channel of getting stuck in loops and repetitions, and then all of a sudden breaking free of it and spiraling out into creative visions. And then when it's time, the planetary programs will hit. The 4323 will be activated, and that'll activate the throat center, and then it'll be manifested into our world, these new visions. So something is being seeded on this day. Uranus is, in astrology, we call it cazimi or combustion. Combustion when it's within 6 degrees. When it gets close and when it's right there with the sun, the planet is burned up and purified and it's
Mm.
gone. And we have to wait for another day or two when it starts to separate. And then it's reborn, remade, and purified, and it has a chance to redeem itself after its destruction. And this is what is occurring on May 17th with Uranus. And Uranus rules our rebellion. It rules our power, personal, individual, sudden shifts of power and expression as individuated beings. There was one astrologer who wanted to call Uranus Prometheus, and that's the rebellion for humanity, right? So it's very interesting, the energy of Uranus, and it will be destroyed on this day and reborn on the next.
The
And then
Phoenix.
like a phoenix, right?
Yeah.
And then in July it'll move into Gemini because it's currently in Taurus. And so that's the body that rules our feeling good, our essence of being in the body and perceiving all the colors and all the 3D images around us and taking it
Mm.
in, especially nature's wondrous kind of canopy of images. And so this is what it is. This is what it is on May 17th. So enjoy. This is the programming
I
for that
love
day.
it. I
Wow.
love it. There's a lot there. And what I am also seeing between okay, so the third and the fourth symbol, so they are reversed the mirror. To me, they look like my sign, the Taurus, but I know it's not the Taurus. 6.3 and then 6.3. The threes again between those two mirror thing. Is there something there? Again, I go with threes. There's so much threes between those two.
So three in human design. So that corresponds to the I Ching. And
Okay.
so those are gates. 36 and 6 are gates. So 36 is Pisces, 6 is Virgo. But third line is really interesting. It's trial and error. It's like adaptation. It's
Right.
making mistakes in reality, but then adapting.
Learning, evolving, coming full circle. Okay, I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah,
There's
right.
a reason why I was like hooked on those two. Okay, thank you. I love this. This was brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
I'm
I'm
not,
looking forward to it on the 17th, right? We said, yeah, the
yeah.
yeah,
17th.
So around the 17th, we can likely be getting ideas and things going through our heads that we can't quite express, but our head's going to be busy thinking and working things out. Then a day or two later, we'll get the aha moment, feel it, and be able to express what it is that we've been thinking about for that aha moment.
Yes.
well said, Gary. Thanks. Yeah, well said. And this, I just want to add for everyone, this chart of this day is the chart of a mental projector. So the type that would have, like, let's say someone's born on this moment or day, right? The blueprint chart they would have is that of a projector, and that's a different type. That's a type that has open sacral. So the sacral center of energy is undefined. So this is a being without consistent energy. And yet, like they have this profound, extraordinary capacity for bringing vision to humanity, with that
Mm.
6124. And so it's a projected channel in the sense that this is a channel that needs to be asked for an invitation
Ah,
to a situation or into reality in order to manifest and thus get the energy bridges here, right? To get to the throat center where all the energy is always trying to get so that it can manifest into the world. And so, yeah, it's real interesting. It's going to be a projector chart. And once it gets the invitation, as Gary was saying, the following days with other activations, then it can manifest into, the mind's going to be circling and cycling, and then finally it'll release. It'll get to release it
yeah. The
once you're,
loop has got to go.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
looping. Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it? And so you can now kind of hopefully the Femi can now kind of see how we have designs and programs within the body that are affected by the planetary energies that create different situations and different emotional
Mm.
states within us that we have no control over really, other than the awareness via the human design that it's actually a thing and there is something, and that awareness of it happening means you can then understand on the 17th if you've got thoughts looping in your head going round and round and round and round, because you know that that's what the energies of the planets and and what's going on in the universe is causing for you in your head, and it's normal and it's okay, and you know that in a few days time it will pass, and you'll get that eureka moment from that where you can then express to people and say, oh, I've just had a really good idea, I've been thinking about this for days, and oh, this is a solution to X, Y, or Z.
Yes.
Well said, Gary. You were taught well. I don't know by who, but you know.
I don't know who taught me
This
either.
guy here who forgets his name all the time.
Who is it?
Gary?
I can't know. Is it Richard?
I think it
No,
was
that's
Richard,
me.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
But I do have a question, Joe, that I'd love to ask you, Meten, because and both Gary, but right now, like I'm going for you, brother Meten. So, like you study like so perfectly, you know, human design and like the blueprint. I don't do what you do, so I know it's much more complex. It's beyond astrology. It's so much more. But like you've done on my birthday on the last rock in Pandora's box, like you were able to see like who and what I am, and we shared it to the family. This is your Richard naked inch room, okay? So like I connect, okay, yes, there is so much truth to this blueprint, but I also feel, and I want you to tell me, it's like, could these blueprints actually just be like a map to who you're going to be, and this is what your life is going to be, your adventure, your challenges? Does it have to necessarily work word for word of how it's done, or can we actually look at this blue map, saying, thank you for the memo, I get it, I see my strengths, I see my weaknesses, and through love and passion, I'm going to take those errors and like boost myself out of there. Almost like, thank you for educating me. These are my challenges. And this is not like necessarily like, this is your life. It has to be like that. Thank you for the blueprint. And now I'm going to like, if there's problems, like work at them thanks to the knowledge being shared. Did that make sense?
I heard everything. I don't know that we have the time for me to answer that. And the
Okay.
reason I say that is because the way we usually contextualize that question, it's usually addressed to astrology because astrology presents a format by which the blueprint of the astrology chart portends a future self
Yes.
or future programming of what this life, how it will be as it progresses through the circle of life, through the nodes as they create the circle. With human design, I don't know if I can address this question now because it's so layered, because I'll address it in the sense that in its most primal representation, it is relative to the specific type of body that you inhabit. I'll give you the example as, and this, I may have to do this another time because it's so deep. What it is that on one level, I hear what you're saying about the whole expression of not feeling, or just having this sense that, oh, there's this book and it's you, right? And it says
Yeah.
everything about you, your future, your past. And it's like, I'm gonna fucking burn this book. No one
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
what my life is, right? And so there's that which has always accompanied astrology, throughout the thousands of years that we've had it. And so human design is a completely different thing. It's the same thing, but it's also something else. I should say it like that. Because this graph, yeah, it's just like an astrology chart for sure. We can put in all the transits for the rest of our life, and then we could have a book of life, right? And it's all super detailed, and then we burn that shit. But what it is in human design, at least in its most primal representation and its most primal emphasis of what its message really is, and I'll tell you what it is, it's this. It's being in your flow of the body's journey through space and time and through the layers of the spatial and temporal worlds. It's about being in that flow and not being stuck in the mind. Once the mind is connected into wanting to control its reality, right, through a book, right, of a projected future past, then the human soul's trapped in a way. And this is the
Yes.
problem with astrology, is it kind of traps the mind. And if you are stuck in the mind, you are trapped with it. And that's why we have the rebellion in humanity of always wanting to burn the book of anything seemingly
Burn it, baby, burn.
yeah, right. Or attempts to explain us. But this is deeper. Like, yes, we have the chart. Yes, it explains a lot, but on another level, it's not about that at all. It's about knowing for us, for example, knowing you're a generator, knowing that your body operates through this center in the center of your body called the sacral, and that's it. Fuck human design, fuck astrology, knowing to learn to trust your body's energy.
I love
And
it.
that's it. Then we can walk away.
Okay, I have a whole crush on everything you just said right now. Crush, crush, crush. Beautiful, brilliant.
That's what it is. But
I love it.
But let me add this subtle kind of layer. That is for us. That's for you, that's for me, that's for Gary. But there is a type called projectors, which this chart right here is symbolic of. And these people are a little different. They don't necessarily get stuck too easily anywhere. And so they are the ones who can become really mentally and really focused on another and utilize these blueprints in such a way where they understand it initially from the left brain, and then it pours into all the cells in the body, and the knowledge becomes cellular. It doesn't get to stay stuck in the head like with astrology. It becomes a part of your essence. That's the same with us, but we don't need to take those steps.
Right.
Because we already operate from our center of energy. So it's the projectors that need the knowledge through, if they accept the invitation, through the left brain and then into all their cells and all their makeup. So for you, for Gary, for myself, it's enough to get a little reading and say, oh, cool, I already knew all that, but thanks for the reminder. And then we don't need it anymore. So there you go.
I love your mind. Both of you, I love both your minds. We're amazing. Like I'm probably the wild child over here, but what a amazing group. Like I love our group. Thank you guys.
No, that's brilliantly said and explained. Because it can be as complex or simple as you want. And that's probably why, like with me, I take the information in and I think, that's great. I now know how I might feel in a few days and what's going on. Now, just keep on going. Just carry on doing what I'm doing. And it don't matter. You know what I mean? It don't matter. But it's in the back of your head that you're mindful of certain things. And all it is mindfulness, but not making it take over your life.
Yeah, the mind can't contain the day, and it doesn't need to. You know.
Superb. That's brilliant. And isn't it fascinating how this multi-dimensional world, where we can talk about the potential future of the splits of the Fibonacci and the crystalline code, all the way down to the programming of the human and how the human will react or not react to certain stimuli within this toroidal field of consciousness. It's just fascinating.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking that question, Richard. You really kind of pushed me to, you know what I mean, express it in such a way. So I thank you for that. That's great.
I love you, man. I just had an inner calling because, again, like to repeat myself, I really look up to what you do, but I have no idea what it is you do. But I know it's big. It's got an importance. But yeah, like what if, like, because I'm a Red Bull. Like if I got a blueprint, like I'm breaking all the laws. I'm going to break everything. Yeah. So you're welcome and thank you we can maybe do like a more like diverse show like in the future, because I know you brought it like broke it down very quickly with your rapid mind to because you said this could be a whole show, this could be very long. I don't know, maybe in the future we can go like more in depth, like a complete show on that.
we do our lightning thrice, which is what you referred to earlier. So we can do our lightning thrice, and perhaps we can
Yes.
do another one where we look into things that are a little bit more deeper.
I would love that. Let's see what the comments, the
Yeah.
family. Please write because we read
Yeah.
your messages. And please, family, all of you, if you love your Richard, if you love your Gargar, please, I ask you as a request, go to Meten's channel, subscribe, and love him.
Yeah.
It, it,
Is an amazing resource of information
yes.
that a human design person would charge hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds to give their information out, and they do, and understandably so, because it's very complex. This guy is giving you the information for free out the love of his heart to try and help the people and the Femi understand.
Mom, there's a baguette on the. Okay. Sorry, guys. That's how my mom was.
But yeah, please, because Meten is giving you the information and the understanding that will help you go through the tricks and trials of life and give you aha moments, which is quite amazing.
Yes.
You guys appreciate that.
Yes. And we love him.
He's
and we love Gargar. And we love Richard. And we love Femi.
We do.
Yes.
So please, everybody, like, share, and subscribe to Richard Cardinal if you're just finding this, myself, Alternative Interactions, and Meten of Plutonic Planes.
Yes.
And again, whichever platform you decide to watch this show on,
like all three.
Like all three. Yeah.
Please, we love you.
Like all three. And it helps us with the algorithms, and it gets us out, and we can share what is really our message of love and hope for the future to everybody, because these times of uncertainty with lots of fear about, there is no need for it.
There's no need for fear. Fear is okay, look, fear is the old news right now. Look, happiness, success is the new black. The end. That's why I don't even want to do readings on fearful things anymore. I've upgraded, guys, and you're following us.
Yeah.
So yes, it takes 5 seconds. Like all of us, subscribe, and but that helps the message go. And it's a frequency, and whenever that we react and pro-react to a situation, we integrate, or no, that's not the word I'm looking for. Okay, just going and then liking Gary, Meten, and Richard, that is like you are participating into like this frequency, and the frequency is one of love, abundance, and thriving. It's an energy, and within this energy, it is life, and then we co-create and blip and blap and bloop. The end.
Superb. Well, have you guys got anything else you want to talk about, or do you think we've kind of hit the natural ending to the show?
I think we're good. I think we're at the natural ending.
I would like Meten to explain everything I asked him, like in the long version right now.
Yes, so would I actually. Come on.
Let me go get my sleeping bag.
Where's the leave? I'm about to get out of here.
So with that, thank you very much, Meten, for being our special guest this.
Thank you, Meten. We love
you guys so much for having me. Oh man, appreciate it.
No, it's great, because again, it's important, I think, that we get the message out about human design, and we can have a little chat and just go anywhere with it, and it's fascinating and it's good fun. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this edition, and with that, Richard, you better say goodbye.
So, guys, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our beautiful rocking Pandora's box with our lightning thrice guest today on our show. And listen to me, be good, be kind to yourselves, and we love you oh so very much. Rock and roll.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.